Falon. Um,
Hi.
so can you like introduce yourself and tell us like how you heard about First?
Okay, so my name is Falon Jones. I'm a pre-marketing major at the University of Central Florida, and I heard about First from my dad when I was in middle school. He wanted my brother and I to do a robotics team together. We weren't really familiar with how like EV3 robots and stuff work, so it didn't really go anywhere. But like once I actually like got more into middle school, I took robotics classes, so I learned how to like do the programming with the EV3 robots. And then after that, I joined the high school team and was on 4717.
Nice. So what are some core memories you made while in First throughout your journey?
Let's see. Most memorably, having to do the judge presentations, more like for the stress that it caused me. Um, but I think like looking back on it now, it gave me a lot of experience with like public speaking and being able to manage like speaking apprehension. And then I guess for like better memories, getting to have like team bonding at competitions. So just getting to hang out with all my friends who were part of robotics was really special to me. And then working like the late nights before like the leagues competition, for example, just kind of like being very stressed out, but also very excited to do the competition the next day. So those are some good memories I had.
Okay. So aside from like getting better at public speaking, what other skills have you learned while being on First that you still use today?
Let's see. For this one, I split it up into like technical skills and then like soft skills. So as for like the technical stuff, like Photoshop, Canva, like Microsoft and Google softwares, I use those skills like recreationally, but they also come in handy for like almost all of my classes. I've had to use at least one of those. And then as for like soft skills, having public speaking, like I mentioned earlier, and then time management and like leadership experience. A lot of these I use for like job interviews, for example, where it's important to like know how to communicate like about myself, as well as like managing like my schoolwork, my job, extracurriculars, and my social life, like with time management. And then as for like my leadership experience, I would say I got a lot of it from doing outreach with like the FLL kids. I had to learn like a lot of having a lot of like empathy and patience and being able to kind of like listen to the kids is like how do they learn best in that program. And it definitely has helped me with my job, being able to kind of like help guests who stay over at UCF. So I work for like UCF housing. So being able to kind of like best suit their needs has been something I've used from that experience.
Nice. So, are you still involved with First in some capacity after high school?
Very loosely. I do tend to attend the league championships that you guys host as a volunteer, but also like cheering on Haggerty's teams.
So, how do you think First affects the STEAM community?
I think that first is like a really good way to kind of introduce people to STEAM. Like as you guys know, like all the different age ranges, like by being a part of first, they're like being introduced to the different like STEAM concepts. And that kind of like builds a passion and an interest for them going into the future. So like they can kind of with robotics kind of being like an extracurricular, like a club activity that they can do, it kind of like serves as like a way for them to not only meet other people and make friends, but to like how do I put it? To like be interested in the topics and while like learning about them. And it like creates a lot of like useful professional skills that can be applied to careers in STEAM.
Nice. So, as like someone who did more of like the multimedia and outreach, what kind of like platforms did you use? What kind of like softwares?
Let's see. We used a lot of Photoshop. Canva, Microsoft Word, Excel, and then like Google Apps, and then Weebly for the website. Um, let's see. A lot of those softwares, like I was pretty proficient in already. Like I was taking a digital art class, so I learned how to do Photoshop. Like I got certified in it. And then in middle school, we had like classes on like Microsoft software. But I would say like being a part of like robotics team kind of allowed me to like put those skills and like improve them, which is really helpful. And then I think like one of my favorite things from that was getting to work on the website because I had used Weebly before, but getting to kind of help with like a real website was a lot of fun for me.
Okay. So how do you see your robotics experience translating into like a potential career opportunity or your professional goals?
Let's see. To start, I always try to mention robotics experiences in like job applications or doing job interviews because a lot of the skills that I developed while being on the team are things that like companies are looking for. Like all the core values in STEM align and like first like align really well with like company core values, I guess. And so getting to kind of like demonstrate that I've had leadership experience or I work well on a team and things like that are really useful for kind of making me appeal more to like interviewers. And then like the multimedia and outreach stuff that I did made me like a lot more passionate about being a marketing major. And so it kind of like helped guide me to that like career that I'd be going into. And then like working with outreach also made me better at like the hospitality jobs that I work.
So, what ways did you contribute to the team?
Let's see. Like in general,
Yeah,
or
that's
okay.
your robotics or semi.
Um, let's see. As for like the committees, I guess, I was on multimedia and communication, did outreach stuff. Um, I also did finance my senior year. I made that my own little thing. Um, let's see. And then like scouting, I guess. I mean, everybody kind of contributes with that. But I guess like oh, and then the promote video. How can I forget? There's that too. Just like I guess like um, I'm gonna go off of like one of the other questions. I was like, what was it?
So like, can you walk us through your like process when like doing the promote video?
Oh, okay, okay. Let me think. It was like we got the prompt at the beginning of the season, and then we kind of took like we took time to kind of brainstorm it like as a little like group of three or yeah, it was like three or four of us that were working on it. And then like we would kind of start storyboarding off of that. So kind of like what points did we want to hit? We'd write it up in like a Google Doc. And then we'd start like for the animation ones at least, which were really cool, we'd start like storyboarding stuff and like if we had like any like analogies for things that we wanted to kind of make that we'd kind of make sure to write those down and put them like somewhere in the storyboard so we could make sure that like this is something we want to like include in the animation so we want to like write that down. And then I think like it required a lot of time management because it's a really big project to work on while there's so many other things happening at the same time. So it's it was really important for us to kind of like get together and like communicate and be able to figure out like is everybody like on the same track? Is everybody kind of like doing work to contribute to like the progress of the video overall? But in the end, like it came out really well, like all every time. So good stuff.
It was very good.
Yeah. Oh my
Can
gosh.
you describe your experience in preparing for and participating in competitions, and what did you learn from those experiences?
Okay. As for preparing for them, a lot of what we did was for like multimedia stuff, because there's not much you can do in terms of the robot in that committee, but it was more like pairing like the pit displays. So like we used to have a board that we designed, and then like now you guys have the spell book, and then like the table decorations. So kind of like thinking about what are the necromancers, like what is our team, like what even is the necromancer, and so like having an idea of like what our brand is was like kind of like guiding us as to what we chose for decorations and things like that. And it was pretty important because it kind of makes your team stand out when people are walking around in the pit. It's like, oh, you guys have like a theme that you're working with, and you look like really professional. And so it's important to kind of like have like a defined brand image for the team, which was always fun to like get to work on. And then as for like participating in the competitions, um, I did like match scouting. I think pre-match scouting is probably the most valuable scouting you can do. Like not only are you getting to like talk to teams, but like you're creating like a first impression. It's like we're 4717 and we're like we we're serious about like what we're doing at this competition. And it also like kind of demonstrates like we're an experienced team. So it makes us look good if we're like going up to teams, talking with them, demonstrating gracious professionalism. And so yeah. And then I guess like I also did like videotaping and photography, which ends up like being really fun to get to like look at the photos you've taken and get to like share them like through your social media. So it's nice.
Do you have any advice for our team this year?
Um, I think like for the members, kind of like being open to like opportunities that you're given. Um, so just like if someone like offers like you like a task or like they want your help on something, to like be open to like helping with things, because you never know like what you're gonna end up like really being passionate about. Um, and like talking to random people at competitions is really important. Because like everybody there, like mentors, judges, and stuff, like everybody there is passionate about STEM. And so you never know like who you're gonna meet and like what connections they might have and like what opportunities they might have for you. So basically just like be open to like talking to people and like doing like random things, because like you never know like what you may end up like finding through people. So yeah.
Right. Um, Thank you so much for letting us interview you today.
Yes, of course.